It's Monday already? No, it can't be. It can't be. Mushy hats are gone. It's Monday again, and here's my honesty video. Yay! And this video is going to come in 2 parts, which I'll explain the second part a little bit later. But on to the questions. Taname, who asked me about the cakes and eating them upside down happily on a couch or sofa, I indulge in that very regularly. I like cake and I like sofas, and what better way than to just lie down and eat cake? It's messy, but it's worth it. And about mudkips. Mudkips are Pokemon which I've never formed an opinion of, because I prefer Digimon personally, and I just feel my Moriel breaking in half. But yes, I prefer Digimon normally, and also mudkips kind of bore me. Oh, and the American comics question. Right. I am a huge fan of DC Comics. I adore Batman, Superman, the Teen Titans. Just, where would I be without the Teen Titans, honestly? It's like, without Beast Boy in my life, I think I would just not be very humorous at all. The Green Arrow, I really like the Green Arrow. And other comics which I like, because I'm not really a fan of Marvel, but I really like the X-Men and Deadpool, because they just entertain me, and Wolverine's brilliant. He's one of the best characters in my opinion, and Deadpool's just a funny little shit who, and I apologise for swearing, but he's a funny little shit. And not really much else I can say about that, really. Oh, and I also really like V for Vendetta. I mentioned it in one of my other videos. Oh, and to Dave, you asked me about my quadrant filling, and now I said this was going to be an honesty tag, but I'm going to be very discreet here, because I have a Moriel who's Georgia, and I love her to bits because she's brilliant, and she watches Hexagon quite often. Naomi mentions her in multiple videos, and it makes me smile every time. And she's lovely. She's a lovely young woman. And I also have a mate Sprit. Oh, and the music I don't like. I dislike kind of like, you know, like the mainstream charts. I don't really listen to them that often, mainly because I just prefer my own kind of music, and I tend to follow bands around. But I do like to switch a radio on and just hear like what they're bringing out at the moment. Like, I've become quite a fan of Avicii, even though I don't necessarily like electronic music because they are quite good. But for things I don't like, I really don't like boy bands like One Direction or The Wanted. Yeah, I really don't like stuff like that. I don't like Justin Bieber. I think that's kind of a given, hence the Lock Girl Brides t-shirt. She just gets on my nerves, honestly. I don't necessarily like things that you can show or also tune, like Miley Cyrus. I'm not necessarily a fan of. Oh, and I hate repetitive songs, especially like the Harlem Shake song that was very popular about half a year ago. It was such a horrible song. It's like, it was fine for the first 5 seconds people used for the videos, but then after that, excusez-moi for not liking it, because it's just Jenna, who says, you definitely have to know about my Hogwarts house. I am drumroll please. No, there's no drum roll because I'm sat in the bedroom on my own. I am a very, very, very proud Slytherin. And now for part 2 of this video, where by now I've probably hooked this up to my computer and I'm editing out everything as I go, because I am so awkward and don't want to act like that in the hexagon, but I am. But yeah, basically, I've seen this like go around YouTube quite a lot, and I thought, why not I have a go? And basically, I'm going to tell you 5 things about me, and 2 of them will be lies, and you have to figure out which ones are the lies, and then I'll tell you which ones they are next Monday. So here we go. First one was that I was in Czech Republic for 5 weeks 2 years ago, and in my last week we went to Prague, which is the capital, and we went to a zoo in Prague. And I absolutely adore red pandas. So I had to stay by the red panda thing because they weren't coming out and it was missing, but then I didn't think it was missing until I heard a rustle in the bushes. Because you see, there was a barrier, but the barrier is about waist high because it was all in trees and like the fall was really big, so you know, we were separated from the pandas, or so we thought. Because I'm there leaning on the barrier, quite bored, you know, waiting for some sort of sign of life. All of a sudden, I feel a little nudge. And I thought it was a little kid, so I was like, ew, child, go away. I look down, and there's the red panda on the barrier. And I was shocked. I was like, oh my goodness, it's a panda. And then the cool part was, it stood up on the barrier and did his little fighting stance and goes, meow. And I didn't want it to fall off, so I kind of like held my hand out, and he chilled out on my hand, and then climbed up my hand and sat on my shoulder. And now, number 2. When I was about 9 or 10, I had to go to hospital because I had blood poisoning or septicemia, which happened to me via a blister in my foot. And I'd stay there for about 2 weeks. It wasn't a big deal, but what happened was halfway through a Diana clown came in, and the Diana clown was terrifying. Like, Diana clowns and nurses that dress up as clowns, but this one was horrific. It didn't matter whether I was like 9 or my age, I still don't like that clown. And I sat there, and they walked past me, and then I heard a scream. And there was a kid on the floor, and the Diana clown with his fist in the air, saying, "You've got," like saying things like, "Oh, you have to accept my apology. Oh my goodness, why?" And then I was like, "Whoa, what happened there?" And then Diana clown ran out, and apparently, that wasn't a real clown, and the nurse was actually targeting the child because their mother had did something bad to them when they were younger. Yeah, don't hold grudges, kids. Number 3. I was in Spain at a hotel because we didn't really want to see my family, we just needed to go on holiday somewhere. So we stayed at this hotel, and it was full of English people, and if I felt like it, I could have probably spoke to anyone, but I didn't want to converse. But there was a very, very, very dishy and very good looking person in the hotel bar. And basically, I turned around to him, and he looked like someone I knew who I had a crush on at the time. So I was just like, oh, maybe they like that person. But then I found out that person was a nasty person, and so was his hotel assistant. I was in touch for about a week on Facebook, to then find out that he was out of nowhere he just started calling me names, and it was horrible actually. I've blocked him and I've reported him, and we're not going back to the hotel ever again. 4. I used to do street dancing, and during that street dance it was like quite a rubbish class. Like we learned dances and then we performed at an annual showcase, which was fine by me because I still remember half the dances, just like poker face. So we weren't that bothered. And one year we were doing a Michael Jackson dance where we had like, you know, little hats and everything, and like we danced to Smooth Criminal and we had the hats, and we got a standing ovation, which made me quite happy. And then we went back inside, and then when we came for like the final dance where everyone comes together and kind of like, you know, ends the showcase, afterwards a woman approached me asking me if I could please be a backup dancer in a music video. But I unfortunately look older than I am, so at that time I was about 12 when I looked 15. So unfortunately I had to say no. And now number 5. Oh yeah, 10 last year I went on a trip to New York where we went around everywhere, and we went to Greenwich Village. And about a week before, I'd subscribed to a YouTuber called Colin Hudgens, who is a pianist, and he was a damn good one at that. And we were in Greenwich Village, and a piano was playing, and it was very recognisable. I turn around and there's Colin Hudgens sat playing the piano. And I couldn't believe my eyes because I was just like, no way is this happening to me, because he does quite good music. I really like Colin Hudgens. So like my friends are kind of pushing me like, come Martina, go, you know him. So I got up the courage to go, and I turned around to him and went, excuse me, Colin Hudgens? He went, Martina, whoops. And I went, oh. I was quite proud of myself because I was like, how do you know me? He went, you subscribed to me like last week, and then I saw you rant about Black Veil Brides, and I thought it was quite funny. I went, oh. Whew. So yeah, 5 stories. So either tell me in the comments below or respond to me in a video on which one do you think are lies and which one do you think is the truth, because I know my lies. I also know my truths. Oh, and P.S. Dave, stay off my day. Yeah, upload on Thursdays, because if you don't, the Totoro gets it. Like I'm a little asshole, and so are they, and then they just find out that like not all Slytherins are horrible, and then it'll just be like, take me to the your board. They'll be like, oh my god, yeah, it's like frenzy forever. I really need to shut up now. Oh.